Hey everybody, welcome to Banded Badgers. This is our Q&A session. I'm Dave, that's Stephen. Over there, look at that. It's Midnight Tower. How you doing?
We're good.
I
How are
wondered if you
you?
was on mute then. You weren't saying nothing. You just like, hey.
Well, we didn't want to interrupt. We're like, are we Midnight Hour? I'm Midnight Hour, you Midnight Hour. So
to establish everything.
Yeah. One of you's Midnight, one of you's Tower. Eric is probably Tower because the height.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I'm
okay.
yeah, that
No.
that is like I like this. I'm doing
I liked it
doing
for a second until I realized who the tower is. Next question.
That wasn't a question. This has just been established.
Oh,
Yeah, this is just hello. That's as far as we got. Hi, conversation crumbles. That's great. Right. How are you both doing? We haven't seen you. Have we seen you at all this year so far?
no.
On camera.
It was a thing, wasn't it?
It was a thing. We saw you at Christmas.
Dragon Meat.
Yeah, yes.
And in the Christmas party.
No, we missed Christmas.
No, we missed the Christmas do too because we were stuck in a village outside Oxford, along with a lot of other people who saw carols and then froze to death. So that was.
And on that cheery note, it's great. We're doing really well. We've got the silent disco, we've got Tower, we've got Frozen to Death. Let's get on with it. Let's introduce the new book.
There's a theme going on already.
You mentioned death. How can we segue into that?
Let me stop you right there.
Let's get started. Here it is. This is the Kickstarter that's available right now. This is Until Death Do Us Part. We're going to talk a lot about that today. Or now. You don't have to wait for hours. We're going to talk about it now. But for those of you joining us live, if you have any questions, do put it in chat, Twitch or YouTube chat, doesn't matter, live chat, and we will bring them up on screen and we will answer them. Also, if you happen to be watching this on YouTube and we finished the interview, perfectly fine. Any questions, put it into the comments below and I will forward those over to Midnight Tower. I'll give them a nudge, let them know what's going on and they can feed back to you. See, it's nice and easy. Right, so the new book, and I've got some fantastic artwork to show off on this. I've showed a promo as well because this is so cool. We're going to start. There's a cat. You just pulled a cat out the TV. That's amazing. It's like, here's that. Look, see, me and Steve did a gold coin trick, but that was a cat.
That was a step up there, wasn't it?
that was amazing.
It's like the ring get dragon.
So this is the promo. It's a 5e book. There's the artwork on the cover. The artwork sublime. As always, tell us about this one because this is what's the premise of the book? As if we didn't know, but what is the premise of the book?
So this is an adventure that I really wanted to do. We were meant to do a campaign guide, and I am working on that. I really am. But we wanted to do another murder mystery, and I just felt like I know it's still kind of it's not autumn anymore, but I wanted to do a gothic adventure with vampires and werewolves, and it's set in Eastern Faroe, close to Whiteport. And then the characters arrive to this little village called Saltby Village. And the mayor needs help because they are signing a pact together with the werewolves, the local pack of werewolves, and the vampires. And that's how they've kind of done it for half a century now. It means that the village is kind of safe. It's a safe zone and the vampires and werewolves are not attacking them. But the pact needs to be renewed every 7th year. But the vampires, they have a new leaders, so they're not under the pact at the moment. And then a person mysteriously disappears and the characters have to find out what happened while also sort of using all their skills to negotiate between the humans and the werewolves and the vampires. And then they search this island where the White Cliff Castle is located. And hopefully they can find the person before the full moon rises.
Cool.
Yeah,
and
that's
all of this is based in a. I mean, you've done a few of these now. Actually, this is a. How would we class this? A gothic.
It's
mystery
gothic.
romance.
It's a little bit about everything. You can honestly run it how you like it. You can either sort of focus on the romantic aspect, which will be much more about the NPC interactions, or you can do it much more of a like Cluedo mystery with a little bit of fighting and combat going on. So you can actually decide as a DM or as a group how you like to, what you want to put the most emphasis on. So yeah.
And because this fits in with like it's a single book adventure. It's not necessarily part of the campaign. You can introduce it to your campaign or any campaign or the faraway campaign. How do you what made you pick this one? Based on what we've had before, why vampires? Vampires and werewolves,
it's something
especially.
I wanted to do for ages, and it's just one of those ways, sort of like, I don't care, I'm doing it. I know that maybe that's not like the target audience really, but I'm a long fan of everything Gothic. So this was going to happen sooner or later anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm very fond of the Anne Rice books, Dracula, obviously, and everything else.
There's a bit of everything in there.
Gobbles it all up.
There are quite a few nods throughout there. But I was part of the playtest, so I went in blind, which was a lot of fun. So the playtest that I was part of, we were all rogues on top of that. So there are nods to all kinds of Gothic themes and works, films, books.
And just for the audience, like playtesting this together with a bunch of, can I call you middle-aged
people like me,
men, sort of like, we're doing a romantic mystery, hurrah! So, but no, we had a good time. It was fun. Yeah. So then, honestly, I've also been playing way too much Baldur's Gate lately, so it was just
it fits in. Yeah, fair, yeah, I can see that now. It fits in quite nice. It's interesting because you mentioned it is Bram Stoker. This is kind of the Dracula. It's weird because we see Dracula as being a horrifying figure, but Dracula's story is a romance. Yes. It's a heartbreaking story, but it's interesting to see where that can go as well. There's a lot of twists and turns. Yes. How is this a one shot or a short adventure?
It depends. You can play it as a one shot. We did that when we play tested it, but it's, if you want to sort of like immerse yourself a little bit more and have more interactions with the NPCs and really sort of go through the island with a different small tiny encounters, you can easily spread it out for 3 sessions without slowing the pace or anything.
I was going to say, when you talk about a session, see, we Midnight Tower and Band of Badgers, we're used to long sessions. We will happily play for 7-10 hours or even a weekend, and that's a one shot.
That's a one shot, exactly.
That's opening the one door. I mean, that's how long it takes sometimes to make a decision. But people who only can play, say, 2 hours, 3 hours, and if they're playing online, if they're using the camera setup or Roll20, because all of your books now come with VTT tokens as well. I'm gonna put that out there. So if you are buying the book, you can get all those with it. So use them. How many? So you think it's how roughly how many hours do you think to complete? If there is a player.
If it's like a normal group who like to interact, and then you have your own little sort of side stories and stuff, it could probably be 10 hours, to be honest. But I would say, I mean, you can steamroll it in 4 hours maybe. But I would say it's probably more 10 hours if you want to have the sort of, because you know how it is when you play, you're sort of like, well, and I'm also going to buy some rope, and by the way, let's go back, I lost something. It takes the time, and you have your own little side story. So but it is meant as a one shot. But having said that, it also depends if you decide to choose. If you want to play the non-violent option, then obviously you don't have any combat, so that will speed things up immensely.
There's another element. Yeah, go on.
I was just gonna I remember things from the playtest that I was in. Typically, in my experience, you have adventures with a lot of combat and difficult challenges, they take a lot of time. But mystery adventures, interesting, they can also take time for completely different reasons. For example, in this adventure, we travel to our destination in a carriage, as you do. And there's a fog rolling in, of course. And on our way to the village, which is like before the actual adventure kicks off, we have another encounter. We just spot something in the fog. And I think we spent half an hour playtime just arguing about who is going to get out of the carriage to investigate what the hell's going on in the fog.
That's what I mean. No one wants to be the first to get out.
No. Everyone's like, no, you do. No, you do. You do it.
Yep.
I was like, that's an atmospheric encounter. There's no combat. Nothing is going to happen now.
Still half an hour.
So, well,
So
yeah,
what-
but then
when
our
you- when you-
Dragonborn spent half an hour like finding the right bathtub
Oh,
and
God,
and
yes.
buying some sort of like brocade frock. That was another half an hour. So
This is
he
true.
looked very, very amazing. So
Yes.
I gave him a bonus XP for that.
Dashing.
There's always those derailing moments in there when,
Oh,
when
yes.
you're there as a DM and you've read it and somebody fixates on something and you can see it unraveling before you. It's like, yeah, this is going to be an hour. Now I might as well embrace it and this becomes part of the adventure because you're never gonna get the players to release that. They're like bulldogs with a bone.
No, yeah, exactly. Their jaws are just locked. Like, no, I'm having
yeah.
that frock jacket. I will look. It's like, all right, fine, let's just go with it. So.
We were talking. You were talking about in the carriage, and then the fog rolls in, and you're all arguing about who's going to step outside first. What level are the characters? What kind of level is the campaign set at, or is it variable?
We do have the scalable encounters, so you can do it pretty much any level. Is it?
It's level 5.
Is it? I think we
No.
changed it to level 2. I can't remember actually.
Level 5.
It's
level
really-
20 in the fog.
It's a level 5 adventure. So, but yeah, you can scale it how you like it. Because we always include scalable encounters to fit any level from level 1 to 20. So yeah, then you can just adjust your monsters or change the stats.
That's cool. As I was just joking there that it's actually level 20. So the fog is just gonna melt your skin as soon as you open the door, and then you will die. And you just say, no, that was the wrong thing to do. Don't open
This
the
is
door.
the thing, because at level 20, we would still argue for half an hour. Doesn't matter how many swarm you can throw. It's
The
just
argument never goes away. Yeah. At level 20, you've got like 4 6 player gods in a carriage, and no one wants to open up.
It's just open the damn door, and get out of the flaming carriage.
Which is half the fun, right? You check it out. No, you check it out.
Well, I like it because you and another player, you're brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Half orc brothers, and they really are like that, big and tough. And then you do it.
Not so tough now. Right?
We had coming back to it's telling a romance. The romance is that between NPCs, or does it happen to the players?
It's meant to be that. So there is like an underlying romantic story, but that is kind of part of the main story. But then for the characters, they can try to influence the NPCs in various ways. And one way of doing that is to sort of have a romantic interaction, pretty much. So what we did for the unexpected wedding invitation, this book, we added under the NPCs, there is a little list sort of like how to vex them and how to woe them. So that is like the NPCs, what they prefer and what they don't like. So some of them are very sort of like, they could be quite secret, very reserved. So if you try to ask too many questions, you can lose points. That's how we did it with the unexpected wedding invitation. And I think I'm going to do something similar like that. So you gain to get players, especially players who are new to the game or are a little bit shy or just needs a little bit of encouragement. They get extra points. So it's like an inspiration point pretty much, but for social interaction. So persuasion, intimidation, charm, or just insight, all of those sort of baked into a little Well, it's a system with alternative rules. They're not complicated or anything, but it's just a nice little extra thing to have.
Cool. I was just wondering if we actually play the campaign. So if we, in my mind, we're playing Faraway campaign, and then we do these kind of romantic one shots. But then the same player character ends up getting a bit of a love triangle, and then suddenly, like, does the vampire from this one start going back to the other one, and we have this big kind of crossover fight at the end.
Absolute chaos.
Yeah.
What's better than that? That's what we want.
The love triangle mystery is actually a hexagon, and it's all going up at the end. Level 20. What have you done? Yeah.
I love hexagon.
That works as well. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up the artwork again because we need to talk about this. This is amazing. Is this the same artist you've had on all the books, all the covers?
Yes, it's Alaina Millar. She's done covers for almost all of the books. She also does all the NPCs characters because I can't really draw characters or humans to save my life. I can draw other things like daggers, so maybe that says a lot about me.
We've seen what you've been doing with the items and the maps and everything else you've been painting. Those are all included in the books as well. Yes, pretty much. So yeah, and the picture that we went for here it's kind of Dracula themed, inspired with his arm around the waist. It's very much from the Bram Stoker movie. The gate, I got the inspiration from Crimson Peak. And then the castle in the background is actually a real castle, but it doesn't really look like that. It's down in Cornwall, and you can only reach it when it's low tide. So it's a causeway going out. So when I was there, I think in 2000, it's the same time as we signed Ian's Table. We went there, and I was like, I'm gonna write an adventure that's set on an island. You can only reach it when it's low tide, and now I'm doing that. So yeah, that's cool. I like that.
That is cool.
You mentioned we have some pictures of the NPCs as well, because you share those with us. Let's bring that one up there. No, not that one. Oh, that one. That one.
Yes.
Who are these?
So the top person is Elmir. He's a new vampire leader for the coven, for the local coven. And then I'm not going to go into all the background story because it's secret. And then we have Ada Borg. She is the mayor's daughter. She's a fearsome monster hunter. And she's sort of she and her brother patrol the area together with quite a lot of few guards. And she has, I'm not gonna say that either. It's so hard to not spoil everything. So.
I think our entire group was more scared of her than him.
Well,
for strange reasons, but yeah.
So there's like a little nod there to Van Helsing,
I was going to mention the whole Van Helsing. It's got the crossbow and the monster hunter and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's nice.
I had such a theme day of sort of researching which type of cloaks that he has. Is one of those long ones, a little bit like the Jack the Ripper cloak, but I didn't want it to look exactly like that. So yeah, that's what I do for
writing.
So yeah, but yeah, Alaina Millar is one of our artists. She's fantastic. We're also collaborating with I think 4 other artists. We have Bookwormling. She does the all of the character sheets that are bespoke for the books. Then we work with Jana Art. She's done a lot of small illustration. We have Chernik. He's living in Scotland. He's from Ukraine initially. But yeah, he had to leave for obvious reasons and relocate to Scotland. So we're working with him. He's done quite a few illustrations, and then I do a lot of the illustrations for this book as well. And I'm gonna try to do my first sort of like battle map, ink map for this one. So I'm a little bit excited and nervous about that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
But it's nice as well because we. Especially like Steve and I, we've seen your books grow and grow and grow. I mean, not just in popularity, but also the stuff that you're putting into the books themselves. The stories, we've always said this, the stories are great. They're lovely games to play, and having these offshoots as well. are really, really nice. It's a really nice tangent to go into. You don't always have to be slaughtering monsters and, you know, saving the universe. You get a bit of downtime,
exactly.
find some love.
And I think that's a little bit what I feel like. I mean, I really like the sort of like dragon and goblins and all of that, but every now and then it's nice to just take a break and sort of like, we're doing something else now. We're doing this, and it can be, you know, silly or fun or romantic or whatever it is. It's just nice variation. So yeah, I'm very happy with these, and I really like writing mysteries as well. So
Cool.
not, I mean, I really like writing the trilogies also, but that is just like a massive undertaking. So it's just nice to go like, oh, this is going to be a one shot. I don't have to care about anything. We're just going to come to a village, and they will never go to the village again. So I don't have to think about it, pretty much.
You know you're going to think about it.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna think about it. I'm lying and I'm boring, but I'm trying. So it sounded very truthful when I said it. So.
Is it nice for you just to not get involved in something that ends up being massive though? Like you say, when you talk about writing as a one shot, how long did it take you from start to finish?
The actual. So when it comes to coming up with the idea and get everything ready for the adventure to play test, I want to say that takes forever, but it's usually a couple of hours before we start. So that's the truth. So I'll just sit down with it.
See,
but then somehow I usually have it at the back of my mind, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of adventures has been like, actually, 3 monsters and a trap. Let's go, you know. So I tend to do these mind maps.
Do you have one here?
Yeah, somewhere. I think over there. So I write these mind maps, and then I try to take the best ideas from that and tie it into an adventure. The thing is that with the play testing, that's exactly what it is. It is play testing. So you can feel very early on, like, okay, this needs something needs to happen here to bring the attention. Yeah, this is what it is.
So Toby disappears like 2 hours before we're due to start playing and locks herself inside a room with a huge pot of coffee, and she brings back something like this.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And it's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, well, that works. You can.
This is true.
This is the
when you said
artwork
mind
that
map, I was expecting something a lot.
Yeah.
What's
Big.
that?
Yeah.
That's the artwork.
Oh yeah.
And some
So yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like, to be honest. But it works. I'll see if I have some of the maps again. Yeah. Maps can look something like this. This is not very professional, but
it's a start. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's a kitchen. All right, you know, and then you just make things up as you go along, pretty much. That's what I do.
Yep.
But sometimes then characters will be called Dave and Rosie and
Dave
not
the
very.
plumber. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
He's still alive. So yeah. But yeah, that's the playtest, and then obviously when I start writing it takes longer time. So it usually takes around 4 months to complete a book, with all the artwork as well. But yeah, around 4 months, and then the Kickstarter. So we try to do 2 Kickstarters a year, but that's what we're doing.
That's the process.
And then sometimes if it's a thicker book like these ones for the trilogies, they are 180 pages, then it takes longer, obviously. Yeah. But for the mysteries, it's around 4 months or thereabout.
Cool. You mentioned, so there's other stuff that people can do to get hold of these books. They can check out the website. You're all over Instagram as well. And for the first time, you're going to be at UK Games Expo this year.
Yes.
Well, yes, and have a stall. We've been there before, but this is the. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You have a table. Strangers will come up to you and go, "Oh, did you write this?" And you'll be able to sign their book.
Yeah. No, it will be fun. It will be fun.
It'll be fun. No,
It will be fun.
really looking forward. We're panicking and looking forward to it at the same time, because we have a billion things to arrange and we have done none of them. So it'll be fun.
But that's because we're running a Kickstarter.
Yes.
And then when that is done,
Yeah.
I can do the writing and you can sort everything.
Absolutely. I'll sort out the entire thing.
Yes.
So it'll be fun. We are looking forward to it. We've been there, 3 times before, and it's such a great thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's every time I walk in there, I go, "This is the best ever." But we've never been selling anything, so it'll be an experiment.
Yeah.
Well, it's a nice environment, and remember as well, because you'll be there from doors open. So you'll probably be there at 8 o'clock at your table setting up and everything else. Remember to take covers to cover it up at night. And then at 5 or 6 o'clock it finishes, and it's probably the best and the hardest day's work. Wear sensible shoes, wear trainers,
Yes.
wear your slippers. You need to do that, otherwise your feet will hurt. And you've got to survive 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Thursday evening is the press event. So we'll be there, and at one of those days, we can't take you out for lunch anymore because you'll be working. But one evening we'll take you out for dinner on me. That's my treat. We'll have a catch up then. But loads and loads of stuff going on. So you're gonna love it.
Yes. Hopefully. I mean, it's going to be nice. I'm just very introverted, so I will do my best to pretend that I'm not super introverted. Or well, hopefully it will be all right. I think it's good. But you don't. That's not even try. You're just lying now. You're just I'm actually so nervous, but you're not.
Yeah. I am nervous because I'm going to screw up something, but I'm also looking forward to it because I am mainly looking forward to talking to people, which is what I really like doing, because there are just enthusiasts all over the place doing what I like to do most. So, I mean,
and at least it's not like actual live role playing, because that would be terrifying.
That would be even more fun.
So this is going to be fun, and I honestly do look forward to it, because I've been there several times. I talked to other creators, and most of them say exactly like what I'm saying. Like, I'm actually quite shy, or that's why you write, nerdy books or like this type of stuff to begin with. But a lot of people say, it's so rewarding to get to meet people who say like, I read your book, this is really nice. And I know how I feel when I meet my creators, sort of like, oh my God, you wrote my book, and this book that I really love. And, maybe they will sign it. And it is a nice feeling. So I know what it is to be on the other side of the table. So I'm just hoping that everyone will be very nice. And if they're not, I will run away. So that's it.
That's fine. I'll just be walking past to be Eric.
You know what happened. So.
Fish from under the table.
It will be fine. It will be absolutely fine. And then, but you mentioned playing a game. If you're selling during the day and you're talking, you're meeting people, you're basically networking. You don't know who you're going to meet, etc., etc. Don't forget, UK Games Expo doesn't stop. The shop bit closes, but in the evening there is still like the hotel function rooms. There are games going on there. Host a game and invite people. You can do that, and you could have a quick dinner and say from 8 or 9 o'clock, run a one shot.
That would be fantastic.
I'll be in my room with my hoodie and my noise cancelling headphones. But Eric, you can do that.
I'm hoping to socialize if I have anything left in the tank by the end of the day. But it'd be fun.
It is definitely the best time. We do it every time we go there. We, as you know, because we've met you during the day there as well. We're having meetings, we're doing interviews, and in the evening, everyone kind of powers down, especially if they've been on table at the convention floor all day. It is a drink, it's a burger, it's a pizza, whatever they do. Everyone heads back to the hotel, and that function area, the breakout space where the bar is, everyone's happy to see each other and meet each other and move around. It's great. And It's one of the highlights. It's probably where I've met the most people, so it's definitely worth doing.
But there are so many games that go on in the evening as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the gaming areas that are over in the hill are just packed, absolutely packed.
Cool.
I remember I was very jealous when you two took off and played Alien, I think.
Yeah, we went off and played Alien.
Oh, yeah.
and I
and
thought,
then,
I
and then
want to do
last
that.
year we played Highlander, didn't we? In the evening.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've got
I remember
to
that too, yeah.
Highlander. We played Free League are doing a co-op game again this year, Steve. So we have to get into in on that one again.
Yeah, it was Dragon Bane was the lunchtime one we played. That was really good.
Yeah. So there's definitely stuff you could do, or you can do demos at the table, whatever you want. There's definitely a lot of scope to do things. We've got some more artwork to show. We don't want to hog everything. So if I bring this one, where's the button? That button. Is that the button? No, this button. Talk us through this one.
So this is obviously a quote from Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I thought it was really fitting. So it is like it is a little bit of an Easter egg here in the story. It's so this is Elmer's coffee. You can go on the island, you can explore it, and you will find the cemetery where the vampires are storing their coffins. And there's quite a few clues that you can find if you have a sharp eye. And yeah, so it's Elmer's coffin pretty much.
I like. Is there I can't remember. Oh, what was the Lost Boys?
Yes.
I was getting a Lost Boys moment.
Oh,
is there a place where you go into their cave doing that?
That looks scripted.
Suspicious.
Yeah, you were talking between yourselves.
The cave in Lost Boys where they all hang out.
Yes.
And then the Frog Brothers go in and they kick it off. I know this film.
Yeah.
It's a great film. Is there moments like that in here, or are we sticking with the kind of the romance? Because you mentioned that's where all the coffins are. So if one of the players is a monster hunter or a very strict cleric, are they going to go in there with their stakes and hammers and
they might
end the story?
Yeah, they might. The thing is, like, the way the story is set up, so when you design an adventure, you have to think a little bit sort of like, okay, so it's easy to have this type of adventure where, battle the baddie and save, whatever needs saving. So, but if you write an adventure, for example, which is a little bit morally shady, how can you cater for the poor paladin in the group? And this is pretty much the same thing. Like, if you have someone who's a monster hunter in the group, not all of the characters, first of all, the vampires and the werewolves, they definitely don't like each other. So if you, for example, are playing a ranger who hates undeads, you can just team up with the werewolves. That will work perfectly. And then if you're a monster hunter per se, you might think a little bit more sort of like, well, in the grander scheme, I am more interested in protecting the villagers in Saltby. So therefore, I will hunt these monsters down, but not right now. So it's a little bit of creating that. As a DM, you're more than free to sort of change the adventures, add things so it suits your group. But yeah, these are a couple of things that I've thought about, that how can you set up this adventure so it will work with pretty much all. I mean, if you have someone who's quite evil, it's fine. But if you have a monster group or a ranger with a specific sort of like or a cleric who really hates undead, then these ones are going to be a little bit different sort of. And I have taken inspiration from Baldur's Gate. So the vampires, they don't glitter, but they are more humans and monsters. They are a little bit both sort of. So you get that nice Dracula ambiguous kind of like, is he a monster or is he just misunderstood? Maybe a little bit of both. So yeah, that's the idea at least.
Because we got werewolves in there as well. Is there a chance that the players, because Steve knows this, I do this in my games, vampirism and being a werewolf, it's a contagion. So in my games, if you get bit or attacked by a werewolf, that goes into your character. Have you made space for that in this game as well? Is there
Yes.
right,
and it's
tables
part
or
of the
plots for
plot.
the DM?
So,
fantastic!
So
There we
yes,
go.
so yes, I have thought about that quite a lot, and I also went through the rules because it is kind of mentioned in the DMs in the monster manuals. So I took a lot of inspiration from that. I tweaked it a little bit so it fits in even better in the story. But in general, there are technically, according to the rules, there are two ways to become a werewolf. Either you sort of get, it's like a disease. So if you get hurt, you can, that's pretty much how it works. Or it's genetic, pretty much. So if you have two werewolves and they will have a child, you have a werewolf child. So I have sort of added that a little bit, tweaked it a little bit, and it's going to be part of the story.
Nice.
You talked about the monster manual there. So this is 5e. Have you written this as 2024 rules?
It will work with the 2024 rules as well. So they are apparently quite compatible. I will double check. I haven't actually read through the monster manual for 2024, but it should work. I don't think they've made major changes, and regardless, it won't really affect the storyline in that way anyway, since I already had added a little bit of my own homebrew into it. So
I think with something like werewolves and vampires, because they're not sort of D&D classic monsters, they're just monsters what we have in our own films and novels. I think that we all know that zombies shoot them in the head, sever the head from the body. Vampires, steaks, garlic. Werewolves is silver. I think any of that, and again, all of those kind of Pulp Fiction tropes, I allow my players to automatically know that in their characters. If they meet a beholder, they're on their own.
I like adding things when it comes to that as well. So if you are like a massive goth nerd, you will recognize some of the Easter eggs and things that I've sort of planted into the story. But if you're not, it will just be like, well, okay, that's cool, and then you just sort of like trot on into the story. So, but yeah, I really look forward to writing this. So
I've got another question popped in my head because I'm a big fan of. I love zombies, vampires, and werewolves and stuff. If you get in your story, have you made? Is there a horror element? Because when my players become werewolves or get infected and turn into a werewolf or any were creature, that they're kind of, we have the hunger building up.
Yes.
But for me, it's the first transformation, and for me, when someone does it, it's American Werewolf in London transformation. It is the screaming, bone snapping, changing. Oh yeah. Yep.
Is that going to be in the book? Yes.
Cool.
Yes. And that's the thing, like, it is a romantic mystery, I promise, but there is also, everything else that you could potentially want from it. So yes, that will, I'm not going to spoil too much here, but that is part of the story.
That's cool. I wanted to bring this up because I'm going to bring up another picture now, because I saw this when you sent them over today, and I was looking for them. And I was like, well, what's that one? And I had to look quite closely, and I thought that is pretty creepy. So I'll bring this one up because I think it is great. One, it's great artwork, but
I think
look at that. I mean, you're like, okay, she's got red eyes, that's fine, and she's
eating the bird. Eating the crow.
No, but she's eating a bird, clearly harmless.
Yeah, well, that's it's a blood pact between keeping the people in Saltby safe.
Yeah, as you were.
But when I was doing the art, I was like, Toby, do you remember? It is a romantic mystery. Will they get that, the Twilight audience? And I was like, no, I'm fine with that. Vampires don't glitter. This is more of a. So that's some of the artwork that we have, and that's going to be in the book. I was really happy with this. I changed it a little bit around to make it fit. It
looks like she's wearing a wedding dress as well. That lace on the
I hadn't
arms.
thought about that.
Maybe she does. Maybe
Yeah.
she doesn't.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's also one of a classic though, isn't it? It's a Vampire Bride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 You talking about their clothes. The first thing I saw when I looked at the artwork on this one was the cuffs.
Yeah, the gold.
And
yeah.
his position of the little finger reminded me of Interview with a Vampire, Tom Cruise, right at the end.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. I didn't
In the
think
car.
anyone would. Oh wow. 5 points to
Well spotted.
Gryffindor. Well spotted. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
Brad-
artwork that I sent to Alena Millar. It is with from the old Interview with a Vampire with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise.
Brad Pitt,
And they're standing very close to each other, and I was like, the clothes probably look something like this. So yes.
It was, for me, it was the bit at the end. So when it's supposedly modern day and Tom Cruise has fed on Christian Slater at that point.
Yeah.
But he's in the car, and as he's driving over the bridge, he's just putting up the sleeves. I thought,
Yes.
that's what those are.
That's where it's from, definitely. So as I said, some people will recognize the Easter eggs and some people will not. But yeah, that is definitely directly from that. So well spotted. Give you full marks on that.
I know my vampires and werewolves and stuff. I know my stuff. What is? We'll change tack a little bit. What is coming? As we're filming this, for those of you watching the YouTube, whatever month or year it might be in, this is February 2025. What is coming for Midnight Tower in 2025? We know UK Games Expo, but that's in the summer. What how many books have we got coming this year? Is there a new campaign from level 1? Big campaign.
I need to sort of secure with the management how much I can reveal. Can I reveal everything? Our plans.
Do you know more than I do?
Just reach off and here it is. Here's the new book.
Exactly.
No, so we have ideas for something entirely new that we thought about doing for going forward as a bit of an experiment, and it's also something we really like to do because we haven't seen it in quite a while. Yes, go ahead and guess.
Is this storyline or is this like rule sets? I mean, are you going like Pathfinder or agnostic or novels?
We're sticking with 5e for now.
Yeah,
we're sticking with 5e because we just like playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It's more a new format. So we are thinking about creating something that is a bit of a side quest. So small adventure, basically real one-shots. Thinking back at way back when you could get adventures that were designed for that. There's one in particular called Castles Bulsir, which I think was for 3.0, I think, possibly even earlier. And it's something you went to your bookshop and you got this. It's a very slim, soft, I think it's what, 40, 50 pages or something. And it's a sort of a self-contained, very, still content-rich adventure. That's a one-shot and you can drop it anywhere and it's still set. I think it was set in Forgotten Realms. I hope it was set in Forgotten Realms. Something like that. So small adventure and make more of them. So not just one, and then we go silent for 6 months.
So the general idea is that if you're playing, so this is the Eastern Faraway, for those who are not familiar with the books. I'll see if I can hold them up like that. There are 5 books, and each contains 3 adventures. So the idea is that if you are playing this sort of like massive campaign, and then you have a session where one of your players can't make it, you don't want to continue the main story. You can have these sort of like small sidetrack adventures. So it's going to be not entirely tied in, but you can play it completely as a small standalone. So just like the murder mysteries, they are also one-shots. This is going to be like a small side quest that you can have at the side of, like a companion to the main story. the idea is also that while we're doing this, I will have more time to prepare for the Eastern Faraway campaign guide, which I have talked about for quite some time and which I am working on. But it's just like, I think that could potentially be quite a massive undertaking.
Yeah.
So this is a way of sort of like, we'll do side quests. I think we'll just try it and see if that's something that people are interested in. And if it's not, then we'll do something else. But yeah, and meanwhile, I'm working on the Eastern Faraway campaign guide, and also we'll have the possibility to get our artists to do more art so we can show more when the Kickstarter is live. And I also don't like it. Oh, I don't like it. It sounds weird, but if you run a Kickstarter, I like to be able to deliver the book within a reasonable amount of time. If I do a campaign guide, I don't want to say like, well, thanks for joining. The campaign guide will come 2027. You know, it's nicer to have more work done with that. So that is a general idea as well. So, and then I think we're probably going to do a mystery later.
Yeah.
Maybe around
Yeah.
Halloween or something.
Yeah.
Continue the
Something
Gothic
I know which
theme.
one. Yeah, it's spooky-ish.
Ah.
It's another one you've been talking about quite a lot,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, a couple of different things. Something new, something familiar.
Something new, something wicked.
Something. Yeah.
Sounds like you were going to sing there for a while. No.
No, I'm not subjecting anyone to that. Nope.
We still need that musical. That'll be what we need to a musical adventure.
Ooh.
Yes, but I can't
Interesting.
sing, so you can play the guitar though. So
Well, yeah, no. But yes, so something.
you sounded more skeptical than when I tried to sort of. Yes, but no. Oh no.
It's not happening. No, but something entirely new, small format. I'm really looking forward to doing that too, because it's something new. And then a certain mystery, which I'm looking forward to playtesting, going in blind and probably dying, because that's what I do in our playtests.
He's very good at that.
Yes.
Did you die in the playtest for this one?
No, I didn't.
I know, we were all shocked.
Yeah.
So
Did you
then
get
what?
turned into something?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think I'm out of the woods yet, but it's. I was.
But you were very close though. I think you had 2 hit points and sort of swaying back and forth.
I think you spared my life because you killed me in the session we played before the playtest.
When was that?
There was a session when I was stuck alone in a room with a beholder
Yeah.
because some idiot teleported me there.
Yeah.
And then I rolled a 2 on my initiative roll,
Yeah.
which is a very silly thing to do when you're a sorcerer.
Well, to be fair though,
Yes.
if you signed your soul to the devil so you can't resurrect, that was not
Yes.
on me. I like to point that out. That was
Another character.
Yeah.
So that happens a lot,
Hmm.
but not this time.
No one died actually.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit worrying.
Right, we got one more image, and then we're into our last kind of 10 minutes. So let's have a look at this one. We're going to bring this up. This is one of the book sets, if you like. What can people get? What are the various bundles? This is the current Kickstarter that is on now. And if you're watching this after the Kickstarter's finished, just go to the website, see what they've got. That'd be the easiest thing.
Yes. Yeah, from the Kickstarter, we're going to link to, your pre-order or the book if it's already been made and done, but in the future. So yeah, we have different pledge levels. So we always have a low income pledge. So if you're a student or a benefits, or you just don't have that much money, you can always get the PDF really cheap, like half price of the normal one. It's also the pledge level if you're a veteran or NHS staff carer, work in a hospital, drive an ambulance, a firefighter, anything like that, just because we want to support you because you are amazing. So that's the thing with the low income. Then we have the normal PDF. The PDF comes with VTT, handmade tokens by me, maps with different types of grids and gridless and whatnot, and digital handouts. You also get your name in the book. Ooh.
And the character sheets, if you want to print them.
And the character sheets, yeah. So that's all that. Then you have the softcover books for those who have too many books in the library and want to save a little bit of space. Then the hardcover book, which is going to look something like this. It's going to be around 80 pages or so, nice quality, thick paper.
Yep.
And then you also get the PDF. We have the library with all the murder mysteries, which is now coming up to an astonishing 5 books, 6 with this.
Wow. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You need a Midnight Tower extension.
Yes, exactly. So you can get the mystery library. And again, if you don't have space, you can also get it as the PDFs. And then we have the collector's edition, which you can talk about because I talk too much.
My collector's edition is going to be when you get a signed copy with a special cover. You get it's almost like a chalice, but it's what do we call it? Like a goblet.
Yeah.
wine
And
glass.
die set and a custom bookmark that we have a letter maker who is making for us. And what have I forgotten?
Huh?
It's late.
No,
What is it?
I did
Something
all the
else.
other. You get to talk.
Do you have any of the limited editions left that you're going to take to UK Games Expo? Can people buy them there?
They're
Or they're all
only
gone?
available during
Wow.
the campaign.
Yep.
So
Very,
Yeah.
very limited.
yeah, it is very limited. So we only order whatever we need for the collector's edition, and then we pack it all in our kitchens,
Yeah.
usually in the middle of the night, and then send it off. It's a really nice thing to do. I know it might not make sense, but it's just really nice. And we have plenty of people coming back and they always get the collector's edition. Sometimes they have unboxing or they take pictures for the
Yep.
unexpected wedding invitation. People gave it away as a wedding gift.
Oh, God.
And I was like, you honestly
Brilliant.
think my
Yeah.
adventure,
During-
your wedding,
Yeah, during the weddings. That was
you
incredible.
know? So
So, yeah.
yeah, I cried when I got one of those pictures because it was just so nice. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Cool. Good. Right. If you're happy with that, we are going to wrap it. And there's the Badgers Christmas mug. We need like a summer mug where he's
I
like
think
about
I
holding
would
a
get the
surfboard or
summer
something.
mug. I just, it is March, and if you, like me, were late with your Christmas gift, I can strongly recommend this beautiful coffee mug. It also works brilliant with tea.
Yes.
See, it has multi-purposes. You put hot chocolate.
I know,
fruit juice.
hot chocolate. You can
Yeah.
plenty of marshmallows in this one. So,
Marshmallows.
yeah,
That I
they're
haven't
brilliant.
tested.
Actually, really good quality.
I love it. Yeah, actually, it's really good.
Yeah, but sometimes they are not. I always buy mugs. Like when I bought an Edgar Allan Poe coffee mug from the Edgar Allan Poe cottage in New York, by the way, and it like I don't have a dishwasher machine, but everything just faded and it just scratched off. And this one I've had for several years, and it is really good.
It's genuinely good.
It is. I'm not just even making this up. It's a fantastic. Look at that artwork.
You did
Can
not
we-
pay us.
Can
you
we
did
put
not
that
pay
review
us
on the
30
site?
pounds to
Genuinely
say
good.
this.
Genuinely good.
It's actually quite good.
Yeah. So honestly,
Oh,
I'm
Midnight Tower says.
The Americans are like,
Midnight House is genuinely good.
there you go. Go get a mug. Go
you can
run.
quote me on that Midnight Tower.
Approved.
It's actually a rather good
Totally
one.
approved.
It is not as shit as you could expect.
It's not as bad as Edgar Allan Poe.
Thought it was rubbish, but it's not.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Right. And on that, we're going to leave it there. Right. And it's also, we'll see you next time, but we're going to, obviously, Tove and Eric, don't go anywhere because, you still exist after I stop this. Steve,
I hope
we'll be chatting soon. But until then, remember, like and subscribe on YouTube. Go tell your friends, your neighbors, your pets, the people at the bus stop, whoever it is that you want to talk to them about Bandit Badgers. For more of interviews, unboxings, product reviews, painting, games, and all that kind of stuff. But until next time, see you later. Ta-ra.
They're genuinely good.